But the open letter Father Loma wrote to Matthias Ezako. Yeah, I want to humbly reply you the best way I can. I do not expect this level of ignorance from someone of your caliber, even though I'm not surprised. Because, like I said some months ago, someone that is living in lies can never tell you the truth, you know. So I don't know if this is actually ignorance or you deliberately mischievous to please your employers. Your employers are seeing the waves that the descendants of the people that were manipulated centuries ago will no longer have it. You know, you started with that manipulation, which is actually what you people study in the seminary school and in your theology school. You started with that manipulation, making our people to think that you are actually for them until you decided to come out of your shell and show your true color. You know, so you credited the science and technology to these people. You actually say that that the 21st century inventors were actually Christian, that you can, you know, mention 98% of them that were Christian. Like, seriously, you credited science and technology to religion, to Christianity. Anyway, I will answer your question with what our Professor Basho wrote in 2019. Yeah. I want you people to make a lot of research. The Africans, you need to make a lot of research before you listen to people like this. You need to know your story. Our ancestors were healing all manner of illnesses, pre-slavery, colonial era. Okay, before these people came to our shores, our ancestors were healing all manner of illnesses, both in Igbo land, both in different parts of Africa. It is actually our people that educated them. All those things that they claim that they brought to us, our people educated them. And I will expose you to all the truth, all the information that you need to know in this video. Father Oloma, so you're telling us that our ancestors who were blacksmiths, they were already smithing irons, bronze, before these people came to our shores. They were the one that invented all the hoes, all the machines that they were using for farming, and so many things. You're telling us that these people are the ones that taught our ancestors how to do this. Is that what you're telling us? Christianity came to Alibo, Igbo land in 1857. Please tell me exactly the science and technology they came with. The schools they built for us is actually the place of indoctrination, Western education, where they actually educated our people to be efficient slaves so that they can be able to communicate with them. They couldn't penetrate because they don't understand their language. They needed to train people to understand their language so that they will communicate with them efficiently. So what they brought to us is Western education. We already had our education before they came with Western education, which is more of English language, how to study their language so that we can communicate with them. The hospital they built, they were doing the same thing that our ancestors were doing, curing all manner of sicknesses with herbs. Anyway, let me quickly go straight to what our professor, Obachi professor, so he said here, until the lion learns how to write, every story will glorify the hunter. Countless times I've had to agonizingly listen to fellow Africans being grateful for slavery, colonization, religion, Christianity, because to them, if the white man did not come, Africa would have remained a dark continent. Africa would have remained uncivilized. They are convinced Africa and Africans were savages dying of hunger, starvation, and diseases until the white men came to the rescue. They say Africa wouldn't have had education or no God if slavery and colonization didn't happen. To every Igbo, black person or African who falls into this category or has same mindset, I have a message for you. Igbo race, like every other African culture, were progressing and developing in all spheres of life at their own pace, pre-slavery and colonial era. The Igbo people had Nka, science, Ozu, technology, that is blacksmithing, Ogwagwo, medical science. If you are Igbo, you might be conversant with the term Nka and Ozu. Move the Western world and the African world back 600 stroke 1,000 years ago, then maybe we will understand who was uncivilized and who was dying of hunger and diseases. But as many black people and Africans have wondered and asked how things were with Africans prior to the invasion, many have believed we were naked savages jumping from the trees. I will give you a glimpse. Africa from east, west, north, and south have left behind evidence of progressive people and evolving people in every phase of life before the abrupt disruption by slavery era and colonial era. For example, education. By 16th century, Mali was the hub of international students. They had the famous University of Sankore, Sidi Yara University, and Gurebe University. The Sankore University had capacity of about 25,000 students with over 100,000 manuscripts. The evidence is still there in Timbuktu. Not forgetting the famous library in Egypt, that is in Kemet, which is our modern day Egypt. A library that was founded in 295 BCE. The library that was destroyed by the Alexander the Greek after they went to Kemet and studied. After studying, they decided to destroy the library. 2. Metallurgy. Africa had successfully progressed and evolved from the Stone Age to the Iron Age and Bronze Age simultaneously. The evidence is there closer to home. The example is the Ibuku bronze in 8th and 9th century, the Ife bronze in the 13th century, the Benin bronze in the 16th century. The Benin people were also manufacturing glass and glass beads. The Great Wall of Benin is considered arguably the largest single archaeological phenomenon in the world. It was 4 times longer than the Great Wall of China and consumed 100 times more materials than the Great Pyramid of Cheops. They couldn't have been idiots and not civilized to have achieved such feats. The evidence of African metallurgical developments are out there across Africa, the Sahel, Sub-Sahara, etc. You just need to educate yourself. 3. Mathematics. Just educate yourself about the concept of factual geometry, which was in existence in Africa long before recorded history, and it is quite evident and applied in games, arts, social design structures, architectures, divination, and trade system. Read up on binary numeral system, which was credited to Africa and widely known throughout Africa before it was known to the rest of the world. The binary numeral system influenced the Western geometry, which would lead to the development of today's digital computer. The oldest evidence of mathematical symbols were found in the mountains of Swaziland, South Africa, and Congo. They were called Lembombo bone, 35,000 BCA. Insango bone, 18 to 20,000 BCA. 4. Medicine. They say Hippocrates of Greeks was the father of medicine. But before Hippocrates, there was Imhotep from Kemet, present-day Egypt, who was practicing medicine and writing on the subject 2,200 years before Hippocrates. The dangers of smoking tobacco was documented in the Timbuktu manuscript long before the West began to discover the effect of tobacco to the human body. The concept of inoculation was already a common use in West Africa before the Europeans showed up on African shores. The West Africans were already inoculating themselves against smallpox. Read about the Akan people in Ghana. In Guinea, they already discovered mosquitoes as a common cause of malaria, and removal of cataract was a common surgical procedure. In East Africa, the likes of Uganda and Rwanda were already performing cesarean sections on a regular basis in the early 19th century. The expectant mother would be anesthetized with banana, wine, and herbal mixture were used to initiate healing. People need to make research before they listen to someone like Father Oloma, because all they care about is their own interests. All they care about is to please their employers. What we are talking about when we tell people to go back to their roots is not to be doing rubbish like this. It's not to be polluting our rivers. It's not like these people that are so insane. What we are telling our people is to go back to the invention of our ancestors. We need to advance it. Our ancestors, they already have their invention. They were developing at their own pace until they were disrupted by slavery, by the slave merchants. Keep in mind that these people that is called missionaries, they are actually the slave merchants. Okay, they're the same people that were building schools, they were building hospital. Why on the other way around? They were leading our ancestors to Jesus of Lubeck, taking them to their plantation. Before these people came, we had our Huete. Today, people will move around. They are wearing Isiago, they are wearing Ankara that is produced in Turkey, wearing clothes, Hollandis, and there's so many clothes that are produced outside the shores of Africa. Meanwhile, we had our own. All the industries, all the factories, all the production firm that we had, at least before the Biafran War, all of them are gone. We are no longer producing anything. The only thing we are telling our people is to go back to the invention of our ancestors so that we'll advance it. This guy is telling you all this BS. Most of us in our home, 98% of the things we use are made in China, are made in Japan. And these people are not Christians. These people, they hold on to their own way of life. The medicine that our ancestors were giving us with herbs, they had everything. Onya water, they have medicine for it. Someone that is poisoned, they had medicine for everything. We have abandoned our own. We are now buying from India. The same thing that our ancestors are doing is the same thing that their ancestors did. The only thing is that they advance it. They are updating it. Science and technology doesn't have anything to do with religion. You don't have to be religious, Idinka. You don't have to be religious, Ozo. It is called talent. It's inborn. It doesn't care about your religion. That is why inventors are from different religions. There are inventors that are Muslim, there are atheist inventors, there are Christian inventors. You don't have to be religious to be an inventor of anything. The fact that our people are being misled in all these slaughterhouses, they are telling them to hope on God. Some years ago, I know a woman, in her dream, she will be seeing herbs. She will be seeing herbs that cure different manner of diseases. But because she's a member of Deeper Life, she cannot practice it, because if she starts practicing it, they will call her a native doctor, Dibia, and they will expel her from the church.